Considered as one of the toughest examinations in the world, Common Aptitude Test, generally known as CAT, is known for tweaking its pattern and throwing surprises every year. So let's talk about some figures to actually recognize the popularity of this examination. Every year, close to 2.3 lakh aspirants actually appear for this examination, out of which only 3,000 are selected. No level of preparation or a list of do's and don'ts can actually guarantee a 100 percentile. Because it's not just about getting the questions right, it's about getting them right within a specific time frame. So today we have with us Avidipto Chakraborty, who actually busted all notions and scored a 100 percentile in CAT examination 2016. Thank you so much for joining us today, Avidipto.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So how's the feeling? 100 percentile and everything, has it sunk in?
Yeah, slowly it has. The tension was a lot in the initial few days, but yeah, now I have to focus on the interviews. So yeah, things are back to normal now.
Okay, nice. So let me just start from something very basic. Being from English medium background, do you think you have the kind of edge over the aspirants who are from Hindi medium backgrounds?
Definitely. In an exam like CAT, where 1/3 of the weightage is to the English language, it would take they would need a lot more effort from their end, the Hindi medium aspirants or non-English medium aspirants, I would say. But given the purpose of the exam of recruiting into IIMs who would get you jobs which would need you to be proficient in the language to a certain extent, the exam isn't wrong in having English as a subject. But yes, there's a slight advantage to the English medium people.
Okay. And what's that kind of basic difference between CAT and GMAT?
Right. So I had given GMAT 3 months before I started preparation for CAT. The level of English in GMAT is slightly higher compared to CAT, because of which my preparation was done. Before I started CAT prep, my verbal preparation was sorted. And going by the exam, if you ask a difference in the exam, GMAT is slightly easier because you don't have to think about whether to attempt this question or not. That is the biggest question in CAT. In GMAT, a question comes in front of you, you have to attempt it. You can't go to the next question without attempting this particular question aapke samne jo hai. Okay. So you will be just have one question in the screen and just do that. CAT mein you have to go front, go back, choose a question. That is the additional complexity. Plus, there is this LRDI section which is not there in GMAT. Okay. So, yeah, two major differences.
Okay. What's that core strategy you followed throughout since the beginning?
Right. So, the current format of CAT is such that there are 3 sections in the exam which are totally disjoint. पहले क्या होता था? पहले there used to be a verbal and DI section. So you had 3 hours of time and you could switch back and forth between the sections. But now you have 1 hour for each section. You cannot switch between sections. Okay. So my strategy was to treat CAT as 3 1-hour exam papers and not 1 3-hour paper. Okay. So if you do a 1 3-hour paper, your mindset is affected. If one section goes bad, you carry it forward to the next section, which you need not. Because you get separate percentiles for each section. Yeah. So each section is a separate exam altogether. So I always made sure in all the mocks I gave a lot of mocks, some 80, 85 mocks. But for all of them, I made sure that as I progressed in the later stages of my mock taking, I made sure I treated each section as a separate 1-hour paper. Okay. So how it helped this time in CAT was, LRDI was really difficult in CAT this time. So since I did not let my LRDI score or performance affect my quant went really well. What people do is, since LRDI was difficult, they will be demoralized, they'll take it to quant and the quant will also go bad. So it is kind of a domino effect. So you would not want that to happen in the exam.
Okay. And so at present, there are hundreds and hundreds of books available in the market right now. Any number of books basically, or if you want to recommend something which you swear by?
Okay. I started off with books in the beginning when I was revising my formulas. So one thing I had to do was revise the basic formulas. My quant abilities were pretty good beforehand, but I need to revise the formulas. So I had taken up this quite famous book called Arun Sharma, which is followed by majority of the people. The structure of the book is fine. What I took away from the book was they have these formula sheets. So I just did a quick revision. But apart from that, if you say was that detrimental to my score, I wouldn't say so. So that is a quick revision, that's fine. Apart from that, I would totally rely on the exams offered by these coaching institutes, the mock exams and the solutions. The solutions were my book.
Okay.
After every exam, I had 90 or 100 questions and solutions to those questions. So those were my theory, those were my strategy notes, all of them came from those 90 questions of 100 questions of these 80 particular marks. So 90 questions or 100 questions, 80 marks is like 8,000 questions. So that is more preparation than what is required for cracking this exam.
Okay. So what according to you is the optimum time needed for preparation of CAT? Like, see, I've also heard a lot of people saying that 3 months are more than enough to prepare for CAT. What do you think?
So that is a very subjective question. It can't be answered objectively कि X months लो तो हो जाएगा CAT. It depends on a lot of things, how busy you are with other things, other commitments. Not everyone can just devote all the full day to CAT preparation. Then depends on how pre-equipped you are with the things that are required to crack the examination. So how I would suggest people to go about this is really early on. So if you have decided to give CAT this year, just give a mock. There are a lot of mocks available and see how close you are to your target score.
Okay.
So every mock gives a score and a percentile. So if you have 99 in mind, even if you are at 97, 96 right now, I would say 3 months mein ho jayega. But if you are like you need little more time, it would depend on the score of that particular demo mock or dummy mock that you will give. That you can use that to judge how much time you would take. ऐसे not everyone would require the same amount of time. Very honestly. किसी के 3 महीने में हो जाएगा, किसी के 1 साल लगेगा, किसी को 1 महीना लगेगा. So it would depend on where you are currently and how much time you can devote in a day.
Okay. And a lot of aspirants I see are very confused. Okay, whether they should start preparing during their graduation or after their graduation or after their first job, and some even feel like once they have like 2 to 3 years of experience, that's more than enough. And after that, they will be prepared to actually give their CAT exams. What do you think? Like, is the right time to start preparing?
So again, it depends, right? So if I am say an engineering graduate who wants to enter consulting, that's what I want to do personally. So these companies do not go to a lot of undergrad engineering colleges. So the only way we can enter is post an MBA certification. So in that case, if I am getting a close enough job, say analytics role in a company right now, in graduation, I should do that for 1 or 2 years and then enter MBA. But if I am getting an IT role, that's what all I am getting through my BTech degree. I would say go for an MBA right now, because it's an irrelevant experience which will not help you anyway. You're giving 2 years of your life to an IT role which you do not want to do. So in that case, go for an MBA. So it would depend on what you want to do and what are the current options.
Okay.
So in my case, I have this role from McKinsey & Company as a BA and I want to enter consulting. So it is a great opportunity for me. So I would take that up this year. I will not be joining a B school this year. I would want to convert my IIM Ahmedabad interview though. And they have this deferral program by which I can enter the college 2 years later. So my target would be to convert that, defer it by 2 years, work in McKinsey for 2 years, and then join back to IIM Ahmedabad.
Okay. Also, there are a lot of students who do not have access to reputed coaching centers and the teachers. So what do you think is more important during the preparation? Is it the self-study or the coaching center?
Right. I would add certain more variables to this. So self-study is important, but for self-study you need resources, you need guidance from someone. It can be a friend, it can be a parent or anyone who has some basic idea of how to prepare for this examination, right? So if you don't have a coaching institution, so I did not take coaching for CAT from anywhere, it was self-study. But I had the right friends, I had the right resources, I would say, I had the right people who gave me the right resources required to crack the exam. So yes, a very good coaching institution is not necessary, but you should have access to people who can help you, people who can give you some idea of how to go about things.
Okay. Alright. So have you seen any of the Unacademy videos and like on the website, have you seen?
Yes, I was going through the UPSC videos, as in the UPSC rankers were giving their, telling how they went about their preparation. So I think that is a really good initiative if these rankers can. So again, those people who don't have access to the coaching institutions, if they get some kind of a briefing from a rank holder or someone who has already given the exam and done really well. So it would be a good starting point for them to know how to start preparation and then maybe try to get more resources.
Okay, right. So how's your preparation for the personal round interviews going on? How's that happening?
So yeah, I will be starting that hopefully soon. My interviews are really coming up. It's like just 2 weeks from now. So I had given the interview for ISB and I gave some McKinsey interviews. So my HR part or my personal interview part is more or less on track. But yeah, I would need. So IIMs have this thing where they ask about my graduation courses. So I was a computer science graduate. So I do not know anything. I don't remember most things other than, but I need to revise those things. So apart from that, yeah, my preparation will mostly start from now, and let's see. I'll hopefully give some time to it now.
Many aspirants like basically I've seen they fumble out the most basic question of PI, which is like why MBA? What about you? Like what excites you about this? So doing an MBA from the top B school and everything.
Correct. So I think partially told you before that one reason is I want to enter consulting. Secondly, why an MBA? So what an MBA school does is it brings together, a B school does is it brings together random diverse people who are sorted in their head that this is what they want to do, and you will have a crazy network that you will enter into. This need not happen through a B school. This can happen at your workplace. If you're with people who are really intellectual and who are really good at what they do. It can be anything. So you can have a very good exchange of ideas. You can share your ideas, get their ideas. It would be the network is what excites me, and yeah, the possible option of entering a consulting firm.
Okay. So this year's result has been like really surprising. Okay, so the 20 toppers who have scored 100 percentile are all from engineering background.
Right.
Not even a single topper from the management background or the medical.
Right.
What is your take on it?
So it is surprising. I think it's just a coincidence. It is not a data that one. This has been publicized a lot, and people are going about that this is engineer biased and all. So my inspiration or my best friend while preparing for this is a commerce grad. He ended up with 99.99. So he didn't get the attention because he was 99.99. So it is not a data to be used to make analysis. It's just a coincidence. That's what I believe. And yeah, there's nothing to infer from this piece of information.
Okay. What are the most common mistakes like the CAT aspirants make?
So the common mistakes they make is they find very, very difficult questions for different topics. And they spend days to understand that particular question. वो एक question करके जाऊँगा मैं तो कल यही आने वाला exam है. That is not how CAT functions. They don't ask one difficult question. It is all about leave the difficult questions. There will be 2-3 difficult questions in the paper. So people tend to go chapter wise. It is not a school exam. You cannot go chapter wise, and so you can just have your basics sorted and then start with exams. It is a strategy examination. It tests stamina. It tests time management. It does not test your core abilities of a mathematics student or something like that. It tests how you go about the examination and how you choose which question to attempt and which not to attempt. So these things you will learn by attempting more exams and not by solving one particular question which you came across somewhere and no one knows the answer to. So people should focus on test taking and not individual problem solving.
Okay. So I've seen like when people prepare, okay, so they work really hard, and during the entire process there's one dipping point which comes like, do you feel any of that dipping point during your preparation?
Yeah. So it is not a dipping point. What happens is you hit a peak at some time. So I started preparing in June. So as I said, I get 80 mocks.
Yeah.
So in India, the situation is such like even mocks, maybe there are like 20,000, 25,000 people giving these mocks. So there's a lot of attention and you're topping a mock, so people get to know about you then only. You're topping mocks. So
before the exam.
Yeah, the pressure builds. So it was November, the pressure I was giving this mock series where I had ranked first 5 times in a row. So I was this, okay, so ये भी यही करने वाला था.
5 times in a row.
5 continuous mocks, I had come rank 1. उसके बाद there was कि अब तो यही होने वाला है. But then the dipping started in November. So people dip in October, September, it's fine. तो 20 दिन में exam है ना, started dipping. So I came like 9th, 50th. So my rank kept dipping continuously.
From topping to 9th to 50th.
Yeah, and so friends were like, कोई बात नहीं होता रहेगा. It's easy for them to say, but at that point, I was like 1 महीना पहले cat हो जाता तो it would have been much better. But yeah, I gave one mock on day -1 on Saturday, December 3rd. तो उसमें I came second. I was like, अब और देना. I'll go with this energy. The day was fine, तो yeah, बच गया.
Okay, that's it. And like one last piece of advice for the aspirants who are appearing in 2017.
Yeah. I'll give 2. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, in an exam like CAT, intense stress exam, you need to be motivated during the preparation. You need to be motivated. It's a 6 month, 3 month, 1 year, whatever the period is. People lose motivation. People tend to just give it up in the middle. So be in a company of people who are doing the same thing. So make a group of say 10 people or 12 people who are giving the exam, who are serious about the exam, and just like use that as your, it sounds a little lame, but yeah, use that as a social group for the last 3 months. Okay. So you don't need to just nerd the last 3 months, but you can, other people are giving an exam.
You don't have to isolate yourself.
Yeah, it's a Saturday evening, you can go out and party, but exam is like 2 weeks away. So these guys are giving an exam, so you would be motivated in the last 2 weeks. You will not feel bad कि मैं अकेला कर रहा हूँ, सब घूमने आ रहे हैं. So it's just important to be motivated in such an exam, for such an exam. And secondly, use mocks positively. People give mocks, get low scores, see people getting 100 marks more than them, and they like, देना ही नहीं है, खत्म आपका exam का point ही क्या है. So instead of that, reach out to that guy who scored more than 100 marks more than you. Ask him what he did differently for this particular mock. Ask him for you will get a reply or you won't get a reply, but just reach out to as many people as you can who scored more than you. Yeah. Try to get the strategy. Use mocks productively, positively. Do not let the mocks depress you. Yeah. So I did not start off by getting a highest in the mock in June. So but I met these people who became a social group by reaching out to them because they were topping. They were repeating CAT, so they were topping then only. Okay. So I made friends with these guys and they helped me a lot throughout with which books to follow, which books not to follow, which mocks to take. They were really helpful. So yeah, reach out to people. Do not get demotivated by low mock scores, and yeah, I think CAT should be cracked for you.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I hope to interview you very soon, and once you have actually joined a B school, let's do that.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.